Welcome back to Brent's Hang. I'm Brent Barnett. Today we have a special guest, Trevor Lawrence Jr., who's been playing in the industry for a long time, and he's played with some of the biggest musicians in music. He's using Gibraltar in a very interesting way. We just built him a rack that allows him to take his drums from the live room in a recording studio into the control room to help him produce beats, produce songs, and get up in the mix. Let's check it out. Trevor, dude. So good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me,
man. Dude,
man.
thanks for coming out.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Dude,
good.
I thought that you would feel at home here in a control room.
100%, yeah.
Dude, you've played with, some iconic musicians over your career, man. I mean, just to name a few, like Dr. Dre, Eminem, Herbie Hancock. How long you been playing like this in the industry?
I've been professionally playing, I'll say, since I was about 14 or 15 as far as making records, and I was doing a lot of jazz back then. I came up playing jazz first, and I also wanted to start my studio career and just learn about that.
So how did you get started as being like a session player for some of the bigger names that you've worked with?
Well, I mean, I'm from LA, which is a great place to be. Obviously, this is one of the meccas of records. It's the same old story, man. Just right place, right time. The drums, being a drummer is like a calling card, so that got me into certain sessions.
So you've been able to make the jump from just being like a session player to actually being a producer and jumping into the control room as well.
Right.
How did you make that transition? Because I know a lot of kids are looking to try to do the same thing.
Imagine the traditional studio setup where there's a live room on the other side of the glass, and then there's a control room. If you're a drummer on the other side of the glass, most of the songwriting and the vibing and all that's happening in the control room. But I still wasn't a part of that conversation until I got in the control room, right? So you first have to kind of know how things work. So I learned, okay, that guy's a session guy, but this guy is a songwriter. There's different, jobs, and that entail different levels of knowledge and experience. The hardest thing to do is to get on the other side of a session, because when somebody looks at you a certain way, you're usually in that lane. Sometimes people get like this when it comes to drums. I just want to play drums. I just want to bash on things. Basically, it's the same thing like anything else. The more you know, the more you can grow. But the reality is about relationships, It's a relationship thing from start to finish. This whole thing is about relationships, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
I think that's the main thing of getting from a session player to a writer and producer, is the relationships that you start and the ones that you cultivate. Because I feel like that wall is broken, when everybody's like, hey, this guy's one of us, rather than, oh, he's out there, the drummer out there, that drummer guy. You're limiting yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So what are you using right now in your setup inside a control room on a daily basis?
Right, so I have my computer, and I've implemented an electronic kit, which was the best way to bridge that gap of the live room to control room. So, if a record I was just fortunate to be a part of was called Compton by Dr. Dre, and a lot of the stuff in there, I played it. I didn't just program it, I was playing it.
So this rack that we have set up for you, we're calling it the control room setup, so you can set it next to the console and just rock on any ideas that you have. This is going to totally help you, get your kit in there and help come up with ideas while you're working with artists.
Exactly. I mean, that's big, is taking up a small amount of space, but still having a lot of ways to play and to input ideas and stuff. And I think that's one of the things that makes this setup so great, because the rack doesn't have a huge footprint, but it's super efficient. Having the kit there and having the gig, having everything in the control room, I mean, it's instant. When we instantly started jamming, because we were in the same room. It would not have been the same if I was way out in the thing and they're trying to get drum sounds and da-da-da-da. So that's just proof right there that energy, you want to capture that energy. I mean, a lot of these records you hear, man, we luckily had the stuff on at the right time when the magic happened, where it's like, did we get it? The Pro Tools crashed, we got it, all right,
Well, speaking of that, dude, can we get you to jam out for us a little bit?
Yeah, I'd love to. So this is the control room rig we were talking about, and this rack is incredible. It's real low profile, as you see, which actually doesn't take up too much room in the control room, and it has 3 legs on the ground, which keep it real stable. And you know, I still have space if I want to like expand with these side arms. I still have space to expand, but you can see how much I have right here at my fingertips in this small space. So just with this little space, now I'm in the mix of the whole situation. You know, guys are over here talking about songs, and the artists might be over here, the engineers over here, and I'm able to be in the vibe. So I have a little idea that I have programmed here that I'll play to, just to give you an idea of what a session in the creative space would be like. So all this is being recorded. Main focus is that all of that is part of the creative process here in the control room, and it's made possible by having this incredible Gibraltar rack. You see how low profile it is, it's out of the way, and this incredible KT4 kit at the base of it, and then what you got, electronic kit and a rack that doesn't take up a lot of space, that puts you in the control room, keeps you in that conversation and in that mix, and that could turn into #1 records and a lot of great things for you in your career if you embrace that technology. So I'm Trevor Lawrence Jr. I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you to Gibraltar and Kat and DW and everybody, and I'll see you on the next one, especially Brent. Thanks, Brent.